Hey y'all, this is Amanda. Welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden. And I just got finished watching the TCU first football game of the year where we lost big time to Colorado State. So I need to cheer myself up, and so we're going to do the first fall container of the season. All right, so we finally have a break in the weather in my area, and when I see a break in the weather, I mean we're not in triple degree temps anymore. We're now, our high's like 95. But I got to tell you, with how hot this summer has been, and I think we're at like 45, 46 days of no rain, it's been rough. And so even getting out of the triple digits makes a massive difference, and it feels so much better outside. So a couple of days ago, I did a little plant shopping. So I want to show you guys and go ahead and put together a container in the front yard. Okay, so we're going to be working with this container in the front yard. You might remember earlier this year I had some beautiful red delphinium in here that was absolutely gorgeous. Now it's kind of filled with, I think that this is lemon basil right there. I've got some weeds in there. I definitely have some ivy that I've been growing in there. So we're going to give it a quick clean out, and then we're going to refresh it with some new plants. Let's clean it out first, and then I'll show you what plants we're going to use. Okay, I squeaked into my front porch. I scared off the mourning dove who's got babies, and the babies have hatched. I feel bad. So we'll talk quickly so that she can come back to her babies. Okay, so I hit up Covington's, a nursery out in, I think it's Rowlett. I always get confused. I'll put it down below. And I hit them up yesterday with my friend Kristen, and they had a ton of great stuff, which I was really, really excited about. I really need some color in my garden. Everything's just either green or brown because it's dead. So I'm really excited to kind of get some stuff in here. So let's talk about the plants that I'm going to be including. Now, my focal point on this is not to just do all annuals that are going to be gone in 60 to 75 days. I am adding some perennials into this container in hopes that these perennials might do well into the spring and next summer. And that's a little bit of a different approach for me because I typically just stick to annuals for the fall. But this will be kind of fun to mess around with. So let's talk perennials first. The first perennial, let's see if I can get this up here, is called Porterweed Red. Absolutely very cool plant, very like Dr. Seuss-esque. Definitely bought it for its tall, like wiry, kind of interesting foliage. These little pops of red I think are great, and I think this will be really fun for the fall. This is a perennial, so it should return in my area, and I'm not very familiar with using this. This is the first time I've ever done it, but if you guys have utilized this particular perennial in your garden, let me know. Okay, the next perennial I picked up is a Rudbeckia. And I don't think this has a label for whatever particular variety. Oh, here we go. All right. Well, it says annual, but it was in the perennial section. This is Sunbeckia Mia, and its bloom is summer to autumn, and about 14 to 16 inches tall. Water well. It says hardy zone 7 to 10, protect from frost. And so I think it's looking really good. This one is a little more bloomed out than I would like, but you can keep your Rudbeckia blooming by deadheading it as the blooms are finishing up. So make sure you do that. And then that opens up for, like, there's a little bitty bloom down here coming. That opens up for additional blooms. When you deadhead, go ahead and cut the stems all the way to the base of the plant. Okay, everything else from this point is annuals. So a couple of different annuals. I did pick up some coleus. This one is called Coleus Redhead. It's an annual in this area, about 18 to 24 inches tall. Really, really pretty, not flowering, but I like the kind of medium height of it. And then I also have some tip-top mahogany nasturtium, which is something that I grew from seed that I would like to spill over the edge of the container. So I'm looking forward to having that as well, and the fact that I grew it. Love it. I also picked up some celosia. This particular variety is called Bright Sparks Burgundy, about 10 to 14 inches tall, so it's probably about full height. This is an annual. This does great with sun as well. And then finally, for my kind of fun, random fall plant and something I don't usually plant, I picked up, this is called Solanum Pumpkin on a Stick. And very interesting. It's actually from the eggplant family. And with this, what you want to do is you want to remove some of these lower leaves. Now, this has spines all over it on the backs of the leaves. It's a lot. Okay, so that's something to really consider when you're working with this particular plant. But I wanted to remove some of the lower leaves so that you can actually see the little pumpkins on there, which I think are really, really fun. And I'll probably get some clippers and clip off a few more once I get it into the container. But yeah, super cool plant, very, very fun. They still had, these are all brand new flats. They still had a bunch of these at Covington, so make sure you swing by and pick them up if you want to give it a try. So I'm going to start by adding plant tone to my container, and then I'm going to work from largest to smallest. I like to work from the back of the container forward. This container is going to be presenting as a front container only. It's not a 360, so it's not a container you're going to be able to see all the way around. So I'm going to put my taller plants at the back, medium size in the middle, and then smaller or draping ones on the front. So let's get started. Okay, I did want to show you the thorns on the pumpkin on a stick. It has them on the top of the leaf and the bottom. So, and I feel like they blend in. See, if you're not looking at them, they're not super noticeable. So that's what you want to be aware of with pumpkin on a stick. You can see removing a bunch of these big leaves made it easier to actually see the pumpkins at the bottom. Okay, I do have drip lines in here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out for right now. And then I am going to add a whole bunch of fertilizer to revamp, and I'm just using plant tone. And I'm also going to get in here and do a little weeding in here. Okay, and I also have the ivy in here. Just getting this all loosened up, mixed up. It's looking good. I have the ivy in here. So I'm going to wait for right now on the ivy and then come back to it. And then I might end up like draping it around the front of the pot. We'll see. Okay, let's start with the porterweed red, and I kind of want to work this to the back corner of the container. And remember that this is one of the perennials. Just like that. Oh, that's so fun. So fun and funky. Okay, next to it, I think I'm going to do the celosia because it's pretty tall. Now, typically, I would not put two red tones by each other, but I think due to the height, I don't really have a choice on that with the celosia right here. Because if I put it too far forward, it's just going to cover up other plants, which would be a waste. Okay, next I think I'm going to work the rudbeckia right into this middle section right here. And remember, the rudbeckia is also a perennial. I'm going to tear off some of those lower roots so we can get a little bit more established. Oh yeah, look how well that's all blending in. So fun. Okay, I'm definitely going to put the pumpkin on a stick in last since it is so prickly. Now, I got a lot of green over here, so I think what I want to do is get this coleus tucked in right here to add a little bit of contrast. I'm going to get it tucked right into here. And I've got it a little bit at an angle, so it's not going straight up and down, but it's angling out a little bit, just like that. Y'all, this is so fun. This looks great. I broke that one. Sorry, guy. Okay, next I'm going to tuck my nasturtium right in the front right here, because I do want the nasturtium to kind of put on a little bit of a show. And especially, and I'll put up a picture of what it looks like, because it has those mahogany tones, which will be really fun as it continues filling it. And then lastly, I'm going to take my pumpkin on a stick. And like I said before, I am going to trim off a few things so you can see a little bit more of the pumpkins, because they're fun. I mean, that's the point of this plant, right? Is all the pumpkins. Now the thorns aren't actually on the pumpkins or on the stem. Woo! That sucker's rebound. Hold up. The thorns are actually on the leaves. We're going to cut this up a little bit. Let's get that sucker's rebound. All right, there we go. Get that loosened up. And we're going to tuck this guy right in here. Now, I have to put him towards the front or else you won't be able to see the pumpkins. You're not going to be able to see the celosia as much, but I think that's okay. And I'm just going to angle this off to the side a little bit like this, so that if I put it straight up and down, it would totally cover up the celosia. And now this way we can get a little bit of peek of the pumpkins. Okay, so remember what I was saying earlier about the bringing around the ivy. With that in mind, I think I'm going to go ahead and move my nasturtium over a little bit, because I do have a little bit of a negative space here. So what I can do is work some of my ivy this direction and tuck it in like that, which I think brings a little bit more interest to the container. See how that kind of cleans up that front a little bit? Okay, just like that. And then I really do like having like the rocks tucked in. I think it's fun. I just think it adds a little bit of a different element in there, which I think is different. So I had a couple of those in there. One more tuck back in there, just like that. Okay, well that looks absolutely amazing. Oh, it's been so long since we've had color. Look how much that just pops in the front. That Rudbeckia really stands out. Absolutely beautiful. Got the coleus for contrast, the Rudbeckia. We've got our seed-grown nasturtium, tip-top mahogany. Our sweet little pumpkins from Pumpkin on a Stick, celosia, and then the porterweed in the front, which just adds a lot of height. You could put like a grass, like an ornamental grass. I've done that in the past, so I thought I'd do something different. And I like the porterweed. I think it's interesting. I think it's unique and fun. Okay, as you can see, the porch is a mess. I have lots of stuff. It's Labor Day weekend, and I always do a lot of projects on Labor Day weekend, and my family doesn't have anything this weekend. I mean, we have a baseball practice here and there, but not much at all, which is amazing. We're not going out of town. We didn't make any plans. We said no to all the parties, and we're just staying home, spending time together, which has been really fun. So I'm going to do these projects kind of sporadically throughout the weekend. So basically my plan for fall, it's still going to be hot. They said it's going to be a really hot September. I am going to begin some planting. I have no expectation that a lot of these fall plants are going to make it all the way till November, just because how hot it is. I did wait until we got out of the triple digits, so a lot of things should be okay. I don't know if they're going to be as big of performers as they have been in the past. I have invested in a couple of really large fun plants for a few of the containers on the side of the house. I've invested in a few bedding plants, but I put most of my time and energy into starting a lot from seed. So on the next project, what we're going to do, the next fall projects, we're actually going to be cleaning up this portion on either side of me. I have a bunch of liatris bulbs over here, or I should say corms. I believe they're corms. I think that's right. Y'all let me know. I'm going to be digging up all of the liatris corms over here. They have not performed well in the last couple of years. I think it's time to dig them up, divide them, and I'll replant them in the spring. I'm going to store them over winter, so I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to be filling this space with some coleus, which I think will be really fun. We're going to be planting a lot of Swiss chard, which I grew from seed, which will be really fun. We're going to plant some mustard. We're going to get a lot of things going, and that are all mostly from seed, so that we can start filling in this area with some color. I'm mainly going to focus on fall color close up to my front porch, because that's where I spend most of the time. That's where all my kids take their pictures for Halloween. I mean, that's my area, which I'm really going to like. So we're going to start working on that. We'll also do a little bit of work on the side. I have a lot of voluntary celosia over here, but I also have a lot of celosia over here that has really bad spider mites. So we're going to be cleaning that up as well and getting things planted up, which I'm really excited. I'm really excited to finally be diving into some fall projects. It's been a tough summer. Anybody in the North Texas, truthfully southern area, actually I gotta say it's kind of just been across the country. Everybody's been experiencing crazy weather, and in my area we've been experiencing a ridiculous drought and just oppressive heat, just really intense. But I hope you guys enjoyed this little jump into fall container planting. I'm so excited, and I hope you guys will join me for future fall projects. As always, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up, and make sure you check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, she's Mad Gardener or Decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.